Welcome back to Man Across New Horizons. I'm dear darling. As you can see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. Where news in, I am pretty sure I'm ill because I have a sore throat. So I think hopefully you'll forgive me for probably having a shorter episode for today. I'm muting myself a lot more than usual to cough. Yeah, I was going to record some other episodes today, or I was considering it, and I was like, there's no way I could do a record episode of Omori where I had to do voice and stuff with this sort of thing. Like Stephen Sausage Roll, I think I could get away with, but certainly not someone like Omori, and, you know, well, Cuphead might be okay, I don't really know. Sorry, just keep clearing my throat. Hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow at 6:03 PM on Friday, September 30th, 2022. So as you can tell, my throat's a bit more gravelly as than usual. Like I'm almost putting a voice on or something, but you know, you're just gonna have to get used to it. Not that I think it bothered you really in the first place, to be honest. But yeah, you might be like, you know, the elephant in the room. Is it COVID, dear darling? Maybe, maybe not, but currently, you know, I've tested myself twice. You know, once when I found out some of my family got ill over COVID, and then again once I actually got sore throat myself, and I've got a negative result both times. So I'm not, you know, going to be gung-ho about it and be like, whoa, okay, obviously I must not have COVID, I might just have like a normal illness. It's possible, I would say, but you know, I feel like certainly it's much more likely that I just haven't showed symptoms of it yet. But you know, the craziest thing about this is like the third time I've actually been in close proximity with someone who eventually, you know, later told me they got COVID, and then I've not got something. But this is the only time I've gotten ill from it, which is why I'm like, I can't keep escaping COVID forever. Eventually it's going to catch up to me. But yeah, the first time I met up with a university friend, we hung out the entire day, and by the time towards the end of the day she started feeling quite tired, so she went home. She later messaged me, she got COVID, and I was like, oh, that's bad. Tested myself, didn't have it, didn't get ill. So I was like, okay, that's surprising. I guess I just got extraordinarily lucky, all things considered, because, you know, we were in pretty close proximity and that sort of thing, you know, hugs, whatever, sitting next to each other. So yeah, that genuinely pretty lucky, and I didn't even get ill. And then another time, you know, when with some extended family who were visiting the UK, and we, you know, we had dinner with them. The person next to me, my uncle and my cousin, both got COVID, as far as I know, and they were basically sitting right next to me. I didn't get ill either, so, you know, somehow I escaped it once again. But here we go, you know, finally my hubris has caught up to me. You know, going on holiday, coming back from holiday, and being like, oh, you know, and turns out my parents caught COVID, so I was like, oh, you know, that sounds bad. And then, you know, lo and behold, today I woke up with a sore throat, and I was like, it's come for me. But I did test myself at lunchtime, and I got a negative result, so I'm sort of just like, how could this possibly happen? And the answer is, it probably is just luck. It probably just hasn't like shown signs yet, or I just somehow just got ill from like a generic like common cold or something which is going around. I mean, it's not the most outrageous thing to get. Excuse me, I'm trying to back out here. Ill on holiday. I feel like that's one of the most common times, especially when you're on a plane. You know, it's like a trapped vessel, I suppose, of just illness. Tons of people in a tightly enclosed space, especially now with COVID rules being relaxed. You don't have to like socially distance yourself on the plane anymore. Everyone just sits next to everyone. And at least according to my father, there was someone on the train who was coughing a lot, and he was like, I bet I got COVID from that person. And I was like, you can't really make accusations like that, but you know, whatever the case may be, illness now. You might be like, how's your family doing, darling? My family's doing well, don't even worry about it. They're doing fine, they're basically recovered, and I just got it, you know, somehow a lot later. Well, I say got it because, again, I haven't got a positive result, so, but still treating it as if it is COVID, just to be sure, you know, not going out, you know, sort of isolating in the first place until it particularly dies down. But yeah, I'm not really here to talk about, like, COVID in general, because, you know, I think it'd be sort of like jumping the gun for me to talk about it without even knowing for sure, and, you know, I'm not that educated on the matter of COVID, but I will say, sore throat has got to be one of the worst symptoms of an illness you can get. Now, obviously, there's a lot of really bad illnesses out there. I don't mean those. I mean, like, out of the common basic illnesses, you know, common cold, influenza, I don't know, hypothermia is a bit of an extreme one, but, you know, hypothermia is a borderline. Things like that. I always find the sore throat the worst symptom. You know, runny nose, completely fine. Just blow your nose more often. Cough. I've got kind of a chronic cough anyway, so I kind of, you know, just deal with it. What else? A fever. That that one actually kind of sucks, but it's actually one that's remedied quite well with paracetamol, I think. And feeling cold all the time. I feel cold quite a lot all the time, so if anything, it's no change. Put on more layers or whatever. Hot flushes, sweats. That can be kind of an inconvenient one. I'm not gonna lie. This one time I got like a hot flush like in the middle of a university lecture. That was incredibly like annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like sitting in my lecture listening, being like, I feel like I'm going to die. Or not. I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like for some reason I'm like, I need to take off my jumper and my coat right now. Despite the fact it was like winter, I was like, I'm boiling somehow. And then it passed, so it's okay. I don't know if I was ill or anything, but it was certainly pre-pandemic time, so you didn't really think much of it. The good old days where you would share drinks with your friends or whatever, use the same straw because no one really cares. Sorry, I need a sip of water. Make sure drink a lot of water. Make sure your throat is satiated. Oh yeah, I will say this is one really weird thing, which has come out of this illness, is the usual symptom, or one of the usual symptoms for COVID, is the fact that you can't smell things anymore and things lose flavour to you. This is a weird thing. Well, I feel like my taste and sense of smell has gotten better. Like, I was drinking my water at lunchtime, I'd be like, why can I taste the particulates in this water? I can differentiate that this is tap water now, when before it just tasted like cold water to me. I can actually taste the inside of my bottle, or you might be like, maybe it's your tap water being a bit funky. I don't think it is. At least I don't have any sort of evidence to really point to the direction that it has changed. And then I had some spaghetti for lunch, and I was like, why does this taste so sweet and salty to me right now? It tastes so much stronger than usual. The tomato is so fragrant. And then I had some grapes as a snack, and I was like, these grapes are so sweet. To be fair, it was a new packet of grapes. Maybe those are just really sweet grapes. Maybe my tap water has increased amount of particulates in for whatever reason. And maybe that spaghetti sauce I used it was just usual Domino, but maybe that particular can just had concentrated tomato in it or something. But if anything, I've got superpowers out of this. It's sort of at the cost of my throat, I have developed a stronger sense of taste and smell. And I gotta be honest, take me back to my taste buds of a rock, Because now I drink a water, I'm just like, it could be better, I kind of missed it more, and it's refreshing. Now it's got this very strange, I don't know how to describe it, but when you drink bottled water, it's got, I don't know how to describe it, except for in my mind I'm describing it as a cardboard taste. It's not cardboard, it's the same feel as cardboard, but not cardboard, if you get what I mean. That makes no sense to you, but whatever. There's some weird sort of boxy taste to it. This makes no sense. Never been particularly good at describing sensations, especially taste, but it has a specific taste to it. And now this tap water has a specific taste as well, rather than just being cold, refreshing water. And that sucks, Now I eat my spaghetti, instead of just being like, yum, delicious, tons of cheese or whatever. Now I'm just like, this is too sweet, this is too salty, this is too overwhelming. So yeah, I guess the result is I've got anti-COVID or something, where my symptoms are reversed. That's not quite true, because I still, I could tell what's coming on, because yesterday I woke up and I was like, throat feels a bit uncomfortable. Not sore throat territory level yet, but I was like, better keep an eye on that. And when it came nighttime, and normally I just wear a long t-shirt basically at nighttime, and then when it gets into winter I'll put on pajama bottoms as well. I was getting ready to sleep, and I was like, it is so cold right now, so I put on a sweater as well, and I put on my pajama bottoms. I decided to keep wearing my socks. And they're not just usual socks I went outside with. I've been staying home ever since. I heard out I might have been in contact with COVID. These are comfy toe socks. Each of their individual toes are sculpted onto a sock. It doesn't quite fit my toe spread. This sock very much. I don't know why I'm telling you this. This sock very much assumes that your toes are sort of quite even keel, but mine draws in quite dramatically when you get to the fourth and fifth toe. Also, does anyone else have a situation when you feel the toe? If you push on your second toe, it feels like your third toe. You push on your third toe, it feels like your fourth toe. You push on your fourth toe, it feels like a toe in between your fourth and fifth toe. And you push on your fifth toe, it feels kind of your fifth toe, but also kind of past your fifth toe. Does that make sense? Am I the only one who thinks that? I don't know how that. I tried to search it, but nothing ever comes up. So I think I'm just making this up in my head. But my toes have always felt that way. I don't understand it. Yeah. I forgot what I was going with this. Anyway, sore throat got to be up there with one of the most annoying symptoms. Everyone's got their different opinions. What's the best symptom to have an illness? I'm going to be honest, I think runny nose. Runny nose is easy to deal with. I'm always quite prepared. I always have tissues and that sort of thing. Blowing your nose, not a big deal. You do that quite a lot when you aren't even ill in the first place. You just have to increase it. what else is pretty bad? Coughing. Coughing is annoying, especially, you know, come for me with a chronic cough. I used to cough huge amounts, like in secondary school, that sort of thing. Like I kind of became synonymous with a cough. Back then, I didn't even realise I was doing it. I was just like doing it instinctively. You might be like, why do you have like a chronic cough? The answer is, don't know exactly. You know, I went to a doctor's when I was younger. Nowadays, I think it's to do with my stomach acid basically irritating my esophagus. So it's causing me to cough as a reflex. To clear my throat of something which doesn't even exist. It's just my throat. You know, like when your throat gets irritated, you know, you get the human reaction, the instinctive reaction to cough to try and clear it. But of course, because it's just stomach acid irritating my throat, I can't cough out the acid, so I just cough. Which is why, you know, you might notice, you might hear like the muting sound, like this sound, you know, you hear all the static in my background just die out. That's me muting. That's often me coughing. Just to give you some background. Doesn't need to garner any like pity or sympathy. It's just like something I've dealt with for my life. But it's not really that big a deal, I'm going to be honest. On the grand scale of things, you know, I feel like, you know, it's certainly not, it's not the longest straw, but, you know, it's not the shortest straw either. You know, it's still pretty reasonably lengthy straw, if you know, drawing short straws, that's my analogy, if that made sense. But yeah, so I don't make chronic cough all that badly, you know, it's sort of just like I'm used to it. Yeah, feeling cold, I think, is definitely one of the more uncomfortable ones, especially when you're out and about. Like, there's this, like, I think about this, like, I wonder if, you know, I got COVID for like a second, because if you go back, I can't remember how long it's been, like a year or something, I talked about going on a camping trip. You can search out for yourself if you're particularly interested. I'm not really going to recount it. But I went on a camping trip with some of my friends for a few days over the weekend, and then on our way back, we were staying at a, not staying, we were stopped by at a, you know, like, what are those like pit stops called? Not like a pit stop, but like a, the places where, you know, you always find like McDonald's, KFC or Burger King or whatever, and, you know, like a Waitrose or a Tesco's or something, you know, the stops where you get fuel, you get food on a long car journey, that sort of thing. We stopped over there, you know, we had a bit of KFC. For whatever reason, I felt perfectly fine for an entire day, for an entire trip. Until then, I felt like I had symptoms of a fever or something. I felt so cold, I felt so tired and weak, I was like barely able to properly like walk up to KFC or something. Of course, I didn't want to raise a fuss or anything, so, you know, I just sort of just like powered through whatever, you know, sat down, ate my KFC, and I legitimately felt like I had a fever or something on the way back, and then, you know, just sat down in the car again, got home, and then felt fine, and like slept, felt fine. I don't know if I was just sleep deprived, and that was just like a symptom of it or something, but I often think back to that situation, being like, is it possible to have a fever for like 4 hours? Is that a thing? Anyway, so when you're out and about, fever, terrible. If you're allowed to just like sleep in your bed, fever, I think is kind of fine. It doesn't bother me too much. I normally just put on another layer, that sort of thing. But, you know, it's kind of annoying because, you know, your body, you know, you're overheating kind of, but your body temperature's running high because it's trying to kill like the bacteria in you, but you feel so cold. I guess because your body temperature's high, the ambient temperature around you's colder. I guess that's how it works. I never really thought about it before. But yeah, that's not too bad. And then you start getting into the bad ones. Sore throat, like headache, pretty bad one. Not gonna lie, you know, I'm you know. Things like migraines, etc. I'm very fortunate where I don't get migraines. You know, people do get chronic headaches and that sort of thing. It sounds utterly awful. You know, things like cluster headaches, I hear they are terrible. So I count myself lucky that I don't get anything like that. Headaches certainly are up there for annoying, but luckily I think for a more basic symptom, you know, most people don't have a chronic cough. Most people don't have chronic migraines or something like that. But like a basic symptom from a flu, it's not too bad because it's something which is easily remedied, I think, by paracetamol, which others can't really say the same for. And like also like in the bad tier, I think sore throat. Sore throat is kind of remedied by paracetamol. Like I've had some paracetamol or like ibuprofen, whatever your what's the word? Medicine which numbs pain. What's it called? There's a term for it, but hold on. What is paracetamol? Hey, you want to hear a joke? Why have I no painkillers? Why have I no painkillers in the jungle? Because of paracetamol. Ha ha ha. Love that joke. Random story where I told one of my friends and he was like, my mum won't love that joke. He told his mum that joke. His mum loved that joke. That's the end of the story. Yeah, but those two are kind of remedied by paracetamol. The thing that I put sore throat just slightly above is, while the headache, I think, goes away most of the time with paracetamol, sore throat, the pain goes away, but then you're still stuck with, like, this really raspy voice where it's just like, you know, you're talking like this, and it's just like, why do you talk like that? It's like, this is what my throat sounds like right now, because it's in pain for whatever reason. the lining of the mucus has been eroded away and now it's in pain as the underlayers are exposed, which should not be exposed quite yet or whatever. I don't know, something like that. It's been a while since I've done biology. So yeah, then what's in the super bad tier? Anything like to do with your digestion, I think is pretty bad, like constipation or, you know, the runs, as they call it. That is terrible. That's so annoying to deal with, because also a lot of the time medicine doesn't really help. They're both annoying. You're locked to the bathroom. You know, you have to be within a certain distance, otherwise you're going to be in for trouble. Of course, and I'm trying to use like safe for work. No, it's not really safe for work language, but you know, it's kind of gross to talk about. You know, people don't really like talking about this sort of thing. So you know, I'm alluding to it, but not directly saying it. But you know, you can fill in the blanks. And plus, it's just like a personal thing. I you know, part of my like desire not to be icked out by that sort of thing. You know, certainly I'll make a character flaw. It makes me out more than other people. That sort of thing. But you know, how about vomit? I suppose. I mean, that I just said pretty directly. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even try and like allude to anything. I don't know what like throwing up chunks, and I'm trying to think of what like an analogy would be for that, but I can't really think of one. I'm also trying to get to this weed, if you're wondering what I'm doing, but I'm too lazy to pick things up, so I'm doing a sort of puzzle where I go through. I wonder if I should put a custom design down to put water down. I don't know. But yeah, throwing up chunks. That's a pretty bad one. I don't know how old you are necessarily, but if you've ever like had a pretty bad hangover, like if you've ever, you know, imbibed a bit too much of an adult beverage, that ringing headache that you get in the morning, plus no, not the ringing headache, annoying, but you can kind of sleep it off. But like in that actual moment when you're like, this is too much, and you know you have to go to the toilet and upheave what you just ingested. How many different ways can I describe this? You might be asking. I don't know. It's really not a good feeling. I'm going to be honest. And perhaps, you know, this might be why you sort of sit there and be like, this is why I don't drink alcohol. Fair enough, to be honest. Actually, smart decision. I don't often, like, I tend to be quite heavy when it comes to drinking in the first place, so there's very few times where I've actually drunk so much to get to that stage. It's happened, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 times. That sucks. But those are definitely up there, because I've had like food poisoning before. Actually, I'm not sure if it's food poisoning, but I'm pretty sure it's food poisoning, where basically this happened went to a family's friend house. I don't know if I ate too much, I drank too much, or some weird combination of it, but you know, that entire night I did not get to sleep because I just kept upchucking, to put it in the Hamtaro dictionary terms. That entire night. And you know, if you've ever been in that situation, you know what it's like, because you know, at some point you've got nothing like left in your stomach. You know, as you know, you get all the foods out, right? You get all the drink out, okay. When you get all the liquid out, and like only water like comes up, and then sometimes nothing comes up, and then it's just you're dry heaving. Sucks, absolutely terrible. And I don't know really much medicine which can particularly deal with that. And it's sort of a thing is because your stomach goes into like spasms as well, and spasms are very uncontrollable. They're very annoying to deal with. Of course, in your stomach, and it's like all internal, so I don't know. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, I'd imagine. Not I'd imagine, I've experienced it. It is. Full stop, I suppose. So yeah. So of common flu symptoms or common illness symptoms, that's my ranking. That's my tier list. Anyone done that? Actually, that's like a clickbait title tier list. Have we got a recipe for today? I don't know if we got a recipe for today. I was not paying attention. Are people ranking that? That's definitely what I like rank as the highest. And I'm trying to think of like any other like symptoms where they should go on the tier list. I can't really think of any other symptoms. You know, obviously there probably do exist some, but yeah, hopefully I'll recover pretty soon. I'll bounce back pretty quickly, especially because I don't have a very big backlog. It might be the first time I actually had to miss out on a recording for like a series, because I don't. My next Amori video is up on next Monday, so you know if I don't recover by Thursday, or well, I can't record on Thursday. If I don't recover by Wednesday, then I won't be able to record, which is always scary when you have a tiny backlog. You know, I build up a big backlog, go on holiday, come back small one, build it up again to like. I normally like 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is a sort of sweet spot when you know I can enact on advice people give me, but it also gives me enough comfort that I can be like, okay, I can skip a few days here and there. You know, I've run the gamut from you know recording a day off and also recording like a month and a half in advance, which you know I don't necessarily recommend. I think it was for Celeste I did that with, so I basically could not put into practice anything that people said, which is a bit of a shame, but you know that may be it. So yeah, I'm gonna round off this episode here, 20-minute episode. Maybe that'll be the norm for now, but certainly I'm gonna do it now to give my throat a rest, so I don't overexert it. So yeah. Hope you are doing well. I don't know if you have been watching. Thank you. I should really get like. I feel like my ending is too long. Yeah, don't you think so? But anyway, if you're ever watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, discussion, shares. Greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Also, sorry, Label, just didn't even talk to you.